Hello, my name is Joseph Awwad. I'm from the Bay Area. Currently, I live in Brentwood, California, in the East Bay. I received my education from UC Merced. My BS degree was in cognitive science, and I received a minor in psychology. My current position is with Aldridge Electric as a project management intern, and if I can't continue there, I plan to continue to work for Search in either the private or public sector. If you'd like to contact me, my LinkedIn information will be included in the description of this video. What I was hoping to really achieve and learn from the Masters of Management program was the skills necessary to become an effective manager and team member. I was also really hoping to learn skills that would increase my value to employers, and that these skills and tools would open the door to careers that weren't really possible in my bachelor's degree. And on reflection, I would say that all of that really has been achieved. I wouldn't really be able to do the job that I currently do without gaining the skills and tools that I have, and that it has allowed me to become a much more effective employee. To provide a brief summary of the skills and knowledge that I've gained through the Master's Management program, we could talk about this subject all day. There's lots of different skills and tools that you learn, but I'll try to be brief to the subjects that I wrote about in my paper. For MIS 204 Spatial Analytics, we use GIS tools to interpret databases, which aren't really easily understood just by looking at an Excel sheet of numbers, and overlay them on maps. So that it's much more visually easy for people to pick up on, and you make quick decisions based on what they see in the data. It also allows you to get to the point much more quickly. For MIS 207 Operations and Project Management, it's really hands-on learning. You learn a lot of skills about how to deal with bottlenecks, how to come up with novel solutions to problems that you may encounter, and you really go through many different scenarios and figure out what the problems are and how to become more efficient. I really enjoyed learning in that class, and I find it very useful for the type of work that I currently do. For MIS 208 Law, Policy, and Risk Management, there's plenty of different skills and knowledges that you gain. But one, for example, is the effective creation of policy. To create effective policy, you have to include everyone who's a stakeholder involved to create a policy that doesn't have well-intentioned outcomes, but creates disastrous results for certain communities. That was a really interesting topic that we learned about throughout the course. And I would say, based on my reflection, I feel like I've definitely grown a lot throughout this last year. I've learned a lot of skills and knowledges throughout many of the courses that I haven't even mentioned here, and learned so much about how organizations work and function that it's really been a great tool. To provide a summary of my internship and 3 different learning objectives that I hoped I'd gain from it, I'm going to start with the courses in order. So for MIS 204, the specific learning objectives that I connected are using GIS tools for quantitative assessment and decision making, and design, create, merge, and query spatial databases to both spatial attribute information. This was done using polygons, basically to measure square footage or area for work crews to make sure that all their work was done with all their necessary equipment within a certain confined space. This was done mainly at the Port of Oakland to make sure that the work crews weren't too close to train tracks, which would incur additional costs if they were, and to also make sure that they weren't impacting the entire roadway as well. For MIS 207 Operations and Project Management, the learning objectives that I connected with in my internship are Foundations of Management, Critical Thinking for Management, and Communication for Managers. The problem that I attempted to tackle was the Safety Net app. Basically, it's an app that allows you to fill out safety reports, and the problem that upper management was seeing was that it wasn't getting a lot of usage. So I saw 2 problems here necessarily. First was a lack of knowledge, and second was ease of use. So what I did was created QR codes that could be instantly directed to fill out information about each specific safety category. By creating these printouts of the different QR codes for each category and placing them in the areas where the specific safety check is done, this accomplishes a solution to both of the problems mentioned. By putting physical reminders around the worksite, it reminds employees to fill out the safety net checks, while also making it easier for them to get exactly where they need to be to quickly fill out the checks without any hassle or confusion. And finally, for MIS 208 Law, Policy, and Risk Management, the learning objectives that I targeted were Foundation of Management, Critical Thinking for Management, and Innovation, Sustainability, and Technology. This mainly happened when I recommended specific changes in the policy on how inventory was processed for the company material and tools. Previously, the policy implemented for the storage of material and tools was causing items to be reordered even when these items were already in company storage. This led to them being used inefficiently. By ordering more materials, even when the company already owns some in storage, this wastes time, money, and has an environmental cost. These costs occur when unnecessary need for new materials or tools are having to be purchased, manufactured, transported, tracked, and logged by employees, which ends up using time that they could be using on other tasks. With this new policy, every item is tracked and managed on a digital sheet, which includes information of its location, how many items there are, and where it could potentially be transported if need be. And finally, my one recommendation to all of you is hashtag be engaged. By being engaged, it allows you to make connections between courses and create synthesis in all the materials in the many different courses that you're going to be going through, and you can use this new knowledge to create novel solutions to problems, which is one of the main purposes of the Master's of Management degree. It gives you the tools to come up with the solutions that you wouldn't normally be able to conceive of without utilizing this entire toolbox. Thank you for your time.